Hello and welcome to another whiskey review with me, the Whiskey Novice. It is review number 211 and we are looking at Kilchoman. We are back on Islay, looking at Kilchoman 100% Islay. This one of their, is it just like, I think this is just an annual release, I believe. Couldn't be just an annual release, it must be like a biannual release surely, because this one is number 11. This is the 11th edition. Surely Kilchoman hasn't been around. Probably has. Has it? Somebody will answer, maybe it is. It's not the 11th year of it, surely. Anyway, why did I not do my research on that? Anyway, bottled to 50%, non-chill filter, no colour added. Kilchoman there on Islay. I've raved about them in the past. I do. A young distillery in the scheme of things. They're not 11 years old. No. Well, they would need to be 14. Well, there's no bloody way there. Anyway, this is the debate that I'm going to have in my head carrying on going forward. This one, what we do know, going by their website, no, what was the way they put it? So it's ex-bourbon, ex-sherry cask, no younger than 9 years. How long have Kilchoman been going? Somebody's going to answer that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to leave this and do my research. I'm not, this is me. You want honest reviews, you get honest reviews, because here's me making a mug out of myself in front of you. I know it's not going live, but it feels like as if it is. I could easily just cut this now, go and do my research, come back and go, yeah, of course they're here for 15 years, etc., etc. I should probably know that stuff. But I didn't. How can I hide my shame right now? Well, I'm just going to get stuck into this. So, burnt out damp wood fire. Lemon and lime. Actually, that lemon and lime probably comes in first. And that burnt out damp wood fire comes in sort of along with it. This is a peated malt. There's a distant nose of sort of incense burning. It's a floral sort of incense. Drying varnish. Pine sap. Crystallized ginger, candied fruit. And this is one I've never had before, but it was a note that I sat over this whenever I was doing my tasting notes for a while, and there was an earthiness about it that I couldn't quite put my finger on. And it was quite literally an earthy note. I was getting the note of freshly dug soil off it. Now, I was going to say it doesn't really matter where you are in the world. Surely the smell of freshly dug soil is the same, but I'm talking about sort of wet, or certainly damp soil. Freshly turned soil. I'm getting a note of it in here. That's not, that's, people talk about earth, turf, peat. Well, let's face it, peat doesn't really smell like a whole lot unless you set fire to it. So the smell of raw, if you want to use the term peat, to me doesn't, really you're then looking at earth. Good Lord, I am really paddling through this. Let's just get into the palate, shall we? It's a nice, bright, bittersweet arrival. Does not drink like 50%. It's a little dry. I'm getting notes of Worcester sauce that I never got before. Even, weirdly, notes of ketchup, tomato ketchup. But it's just that sweet and sour once again, or bittersweet, that's doing that. The nose would suggest that this was going to be a sort of dirty, earthy experience. But the palate is a sharper, cleaner affair, by far. Cinnamon, charred wood, stewed apple and honey. Remembering this is the 11th edition. This is a good whiskey. But you can see I'm halfway down the bottle, maybe even slightly over it. And I'm yet to be bowled over by this whiskey. It's good. But I've never found it much better than good. As I said, it's never blown my mind. It's never, maybe I'm expecting too much. But it is good. It is good. Boiled sweets. I think what I'm actually going to suggest is it's an unfulfilled goodness, this whiskey. It's ever so slightly shy of being very good. Not great. Ever so slightly shy of being very good. It's good. Ever so slightly shy of being very good. Finish long. Slightly tannic. Not. I would almost expect, from what I'm getting on the palate of this, a very, very long bitter smokiness on the finish, but I don't. It's slightly hot. There is flavour there, but it's just not. It's not necessarily what I would have expected of it. Once again, there, that's the best way I can describe it. Unfulfilled goodness. There, that's what I'm going to say about it. Unfulfilled promise. That's better. Yeah, that's better. That little drop of water, much better, much fruitier on the nose. Red fruit, cranberry, and plum. Yeah. Yeah, that drop of water takes a bit of the earthiness out of the nose, and it does improve on it. I'm convinced of it. Palate improves greatly. Smokiness is a little more prominent, and it sits incredibly well along with that red fruit that I mentioned in the nose. I think the water takes a bit of the tannic feel out of it, so it just makes it a little more drinkable. However, the finish, although a little less dry, becomes a little more hot. It's about the cinnamon. This is better with water. There's no two ways about it. But it's still unfulfilled promise. That's what this is to me. This is no fault of Kilchoman's. I expected more of this. There'll be a note go home to its parents. There. Get me, there'll be a note go home to its parents. Must do better. It's not their fault. This is my opinion. I'm sure there'll be people come back to me and go, I loved it. Edition 11, Kilchoman, 100% Islay. Loved it. How could you say such things, Jim? It's fantastic. It's just my opinion. Remember, it's always just my opinion. Everybody has their own opinion in these things. And this one, just to me, as good as it was, just has never bowled me over. So what would I recommend as an alternative? Honestly, it's lazy maybe of me, but I am going to go, and I've done this many a time before, I'm going to say Ardbeg Ugadal. These are, as I said, the Kilchoman, no younger than 9 years, ex-bourbon, ex-sherry. And they do explain on their website the sort of build, because they tell you how many casks of bourbon and how many sherry butts, etc., were sort of married to produce this. It's something like 12,000 bottles or something. It's not incredibly limited. So the Ugadal, also a youngish whiskey, but just also cask strength. My eyesight is 54.2. So, you're stronger in the Ugie, but just the Ugie is fulfilled promise. It's more than fulfilled promise, in my opinion. The Ardbeg Ugadal, to me, personally, is one of the best whiskies to come out of Islay. Peated wise, it's one of the best whiskies to come out of Scotland. Probably one of the best whiskies in the world, in my opinion, as a peated whiskey. If you're looking for a good, solid, quality, all the time, peated malt, peated sherry cask malt, the Ardbeg Ugadal is hard to whack. It really is. Once again, so there you go. I'll move that off the table because I don't want to completely ruin Kilchoman. Once again, Kilchoman, 100% Islay, just for me personally, personal opinion, a little unfulfilled promise. It's a good whiskey, burgeoning on, very good. I'm not necessarily talking it down. I'm not necessarily talking it up. Blah 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 blah. Oh, shut up, Tim, and move on. Yeah, thanks very much for joining me as usual. Thank you very much to my patrons. Should anybody wish to join that group, the details, as per usual, are in the video description below. There. I'll be back next time with something a little different. Until then, look after yourselves. Here's your good health. Cheers. Hey, thanks for watching my video. Please click and subscribe to be notified of further content.